Hey everybody, good to see you, so to speak. Hope your week is going well. As you may know, if you were here on Sunday or watched online, I was not here. My family and I were out of town this past Sunday, out of state actually. I know that Rick took us through the triumphal entry. I know you guys spent some time he spent some time talking about Jesus and how he brought peace, how he's known as the Prince of Peace, Jerusalem, the city of peace, etc. And I also know that he talked about the rock as Jesus was being rebuked by the disciples, and they told him to tell by the religious leaders telling him to get his disciples to be quiet. And Jesus famously said, I could even have the rocks cry out, so to speak. And so Rick demonstrated that a little bit on with a visual for you all. And so I want to talk just a little bit about the conclusion that he made with such a thing, and how God speaks to us through his creation. And I know that Rick took you to one of those famous passages out of the Bible, one that's near and dear to me. I love it, from Psalm 19. I personally have shared this a time or two. I don't always connect deeply with the Psalms, but this one I do. And so I'm going to just read a few verses from Psalm 19 that reflect upon where Rick landed there. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. Interesting next part. They have no speech. They use no words. No sound is heard from them, yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. And I know Rick touched base also about Romans 1 and the way that creation speaks to human beings, how God speaks through creation to us. I mentioned that I wasn't here Sunday. It's because my family and I were out in California. We had a wedding there for my nephew and had a great time. We were in a town called Santa Maria most of the time, which is basically halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles on the California coast there. And so I saw some things that I want to just touch base briefly on that also pour forth speech. In California, I don't know how many times you've been there, but I've been there a handful of times, but I'm always amazed at the beauty of that state, natural beauty. You go into a place, we flew into Los Angeles, and the wonder, the uniqueness of creation, this huge city, but because the mountains are right in and around there, the San Gabriel Mountains and the Sierra Nevadas, I think, are part of it. And it's just a unique place. There's rock croppings all over the place that break up what would be a massive city if it were in the middle of Nebraska or Kansas or something, that it would just be all spread out. But seeing the creation there, and then going up the coast and seeing the diversity there of the mountains, and then the ocean, and then the farm fields. As you know, California is a huge producer of agriculture, of foods, etc. And seeing strawberry fields, seeing hillsides full of grape vineyards, seeing cabbage, I saw fields, and so many different things. And this diverse system that God has put into play here as on the earth. And again, in many different ways, I was thinking those things about what this says about God. Creation. I know Rick touched on it. You don't have to go to California to be in awe of creation, as we live in just an absolute beautiful place where God speaks through his creation. I wonder, how has he spoken to you lately through creation? I'd love to hear about that. Any of us pastors would. Don't forget about God and the way that he speaks. Have a great week. We will see you soon on Sunday. Greg Kokel will be here this week speaking to us, and it will be Father's Day. So to the dads out there, happy Father's Day in advance.